Hey guys, Casual Duelist here, and maybe I should apologize, maybe I shouldn't. I didn't upload anything really major recently, and it's because I was putting all the effort into this. So I remember that, and I'm gonna forget who actually requested it, but we were requested to see if we could do something with Dark Magician, and I thought about it, and the team voted yes. And a couple of factors. The Mega Tin 2020, the tin of Lost Memories, or whatever they're calling it, had some fantastic, like a couple of good cards for it. But of course, Dragoon is live right now. And we just thought it would be really awesome. So let's get you a list. Okay, first off, this is different too. I'm running 42 cards in the main today, and I'm not sure. It's been working for me, but maybe it'll work for you guys as well. So I'm going to start with 3 copies of the Apprentice Illusion Magician. Let me slow down a second. I got 2 copies, Chocolate Magician Girl. We're going to be using the Almighty Arcana Red Dark Magician today, 3 copies. We're going to have 2 copies Dark Magician Girl, because awesome. We're going to be using 3 copies of the Magician of Dark Illusion. 3 copies of Magician's Rod. Got to get that gold Red Eyes Black Dragon in there. 1 copy. And 2 copies Summoner Monk. Now moving over to the spells. Got to have a little speed and consistency for this build. So 3 copies Allure of Darkness. 1 Dark Magic Inheritance. 1, 2, 3 Dark Magical Circles. We're going to have the 1 Illusion Magic. The 1 Monster Reborn. The 3 copies of Red Eyes Fusion, 2 copies of Successor Soul, and of course 2 copies the Eye of Timaeus. Fun fact, it's going to be more useful than some people think. And going to our traps, we are going to be using 3 copies of the new card Destined Rivals, 2 copies of Eternal Soul, and 2 copies of Magician Navigation. Now let me put the whole main deck back together in a single pile. Let's set that over there. And let's see what we don't have for our extra deck. So we're going to go ahead and show off the alternate art from the Dragons of Legend or whatever complete series. It's the alternate art of Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight. We're going to use 1 copy of her, 1 Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, 1 copy Dark Paladin, 1 copy Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, 1 copy Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Overlay is going to be 1 Ebon High Magician, 1 Ebon Illusion Magician, 1 Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosac, 1 number 11 Big Eye, 1 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, and 1 copy Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. And then over to our links, we're going to have the 1 Blackluster Soldier of Chaos, 1 copy Great Fly, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and 1 Predaplant Vert Anaconda. Now, if you guys were just here for the deck list, guess what? It's been 3.5 minutes. You're free to go. If this was good, if you enjoyed it, maybe throw a sub. Definitely give us a comment. And if you want to know why we made some of these choices, stick around. I'm getting right back to it. So, back to the main deck. Apprentice Illusion Magician can actually help us start some plays. So this card can special summon from the hand by discarding 1 card. If this card is normal or special summoned, I can add 1 Dark Magician from my deck to my hand. And during the damage calculation, she's like almost like Honest, more like Kalut. If one of my other Dark Spellcaster monsters battles an opponent's monster, I can either send it from my hand or from face up on the field to the discard pile and transfer her 2,000 to both the attack and defense stat of the other Dark Spellcaster. So, again, 3. It's a battle trap. It's a summoning tool, and it's just awesome. So we have Chocolate Magician Girl at 2. Nice little effect that you don't normally see in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is an effect that's more like a Magic the Gathering effect, where you generally discard a card to get a card. And so this card is going to say discard 1 Spellcaster type to draw 1 card. Then once per turn, if this card is targeted for an attack if this is targeted for an attack, you can target 1 spellcaster in the graveyard except same name to special summon it. Change the attack target to it, and if you do, the attacking monster's attack becomes half its current. So again, she can call for help and get Big Bad Dark Magician out there to help her, or the Apprentice Illusion Magician, or whatever you like. So obviously we can go ahead, we could set up discard the Dark Magician to draw a card, and then still protect her with Dark Magician, and then at which point the opponent's monster has to be, what, like 5,100 points in order to be able to beat the Dark Magician, so probably not going to happen. Again, I'm using the Arcana's red version today because, I don't know, he looks sick, and I wanted to use a different Dark Magician every time I was using Dark Magician this month, so that was fine. Dark Magician Girl still gains the 300 for every Dark Magician or Magician of Black Chaos in either player's graveyard. Not going to come into... that effect isn't going to come into play very often. She's really just in here for the Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, being a decent card. And the fact that it's another decent attack power card that I can get off the Magician's Navigation. So we are going to be using the Magician of Dark Illusion. On the field, this card will count himself as being Dark Magician for naming purposes. And he can use each of the following effects once per turn. So during the opponent's turn, if I activate a spell, trap, or card effect, except the damage step, I can special summon this card from my hand. Now, if I activate a spell, trap, or effect while this is on the field, while this card is face up on my field, except the damage step, I can target a Dark Magician in the graveyard and special summon it. So it either jumps out of my hand or it jumps that Dark Magician from the discard back to the field, which is great because we got like 5 overlay targets. It's fine. Really cool card and worth playing. Magician's Rod 3. This is probably like the best starter Dark Magician decks ever got. When this is normal summon, you can add a spell trap card from the deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Dark Magician in the text. And real quick, let's visit the controversy some people still have. Why is Eye of Timaeus an illegal target? If you just read it, target one quote-unquote Dark Magician monster, meaning Dark Magician as an archetype as opposed to Dark Magician, the singular card. That's why. So you add one of those spell traps from your deck to your hand, which is amazing. During your opponent's turn, if you activate a spell trap or effect while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you contribute one spellcaster monster. Add this to your hand. You can use each effect once per turn. I only care about the first effect. I've never really played that second one. Again, Red Eyes, looking good with the gold. I got to tilt them a little bit because my phone camera, which is the only camera that I own, doesn't pick that up so quick, but beautiful nonetheless. And then, of course, Summoner Monk is just here for a quick extension, and honestly, one of our quickest ways to get to Verde Anaconda in the deck. So keep that in mind. The Triple Allure of Darkness is here to just allow you to draw. Again, I think the only non-dark type is just Chocolate as the singular water card. And again, don't do it if Red Eyes is the only dark in your hand, because that will mess you up. So Inheritance allows you to banish 2 spells in the graveyard, add 1 spell trap from your deck to your hand that again specifically lists Dark Magician or Girl this time in the text, except same card. You can only activate 1 of these per turn. It doesn't come up too often, but enough to warrant having 1 copy of this in the deck. The Dark Magical Circle is pretty good. This is check the top 3 when you play it. Reveal either 1 Dark Magician or a spell trap that specifically lists it in the text among them, adding that card to your hand, and any remaining cards, so anywhere from 2 to 3 cards, back to the top of your deck in any order, which means at the very least you are going to get to stack your deck. So if you have some draw cards, if you have the Allure of Darkness in your hand, or you've got the Chocolate Magician Girl and you just need to extend that 1 extra card, this card can help you correct that before you go for the draw. Which is fine. If Dark Magician is normal or special summoned to the field, except during the damage step, you may target 1 card your opponent controls on the field and banish that card, and that's a once per turn effect. And amazing that we can do that during our opponent's turn for some more spot removal through cards like Eternal Soul, or of course, you know, if you played the Magician of Dark Illusion and he's already up and you're bringing back another Dark Magician. So Spot removal with Dark Magical Circle is actually pretty amazing, and it takes a little while to get used to picking your targets depending on the deck that you're playing against. Illusion Magic. Tribute one spellcaster type monster. Add up to 2 copies of Dark Magician from the deck and or graveyard back to the hand. You may activate 1 per turn. Now, I have used this solely to fuel Dragoon a little more, and actually to fuel the Dark Paladin before, so kind of fun. Monster Reborn, just kind of a nice little one-of, again, throwing the gold rare at it. The Red Eyes Fusion, because we want to be able to play it as consistently as possible, so again, maximizing our opportunity to draw it, especially since we increased the deck cap by 2. Kind of important. Successor Soul is my answer to not using Super Polymerization this game. So what this is going to allow me to do is tribute 1 effect monster I control, then target 1 effect monster my opponent controls, sending it to the graveyard. And then I'm going to special summon a level 7 or higher normal monster from my hand or my deck. And again, this is going to allow me to play the Dark Magician on my own turn or on my opponent's turn and get the extra spot removal. But this is another great way of vacuuming up a card and like sort of kaiju-esque play. Of course, you can only attack with 1 monster during the turn you activate this card, but that's not always like a big deal, especially if we're doing it during the opponent's turn. So the last spell is the Eye of Timaeus. Now, this one is always considered the legendary Dragon Timaeus, but for this instance, we don't care about its name. What we care about is the effect, and that is targeting 1 Dark Magician monster we control to fusion summon 1 fusion monster from the extra deck that lists that monster that's currently on the field as fusion material, using it as the fusion material. So what this is going to do is you've got Dark Magician or you have Dark Magician Girl, and we're going to use it as the entire material. So instead of needing the Red Eyes and the Red Eyes Fusion, we're going to be able to use just Dark Magician in order to create Dragoon. And the reason I can tell you that this works is, again, if we look at the extra deck, Dark Magician Girl says must be fusion summoned with the above materials or with the Eye of Timaeus, meaning Eye of Timaeus is allowed to negate the must be fusion summoned with the above materials. Just we're not allowed to use substitutes because, again, it's a single character and then a typing. And if I had Amulet Dragon in here, Amulet Dragon has the same type of wording. But again, you could use Dark Magician for the Dark Magician Dragon Knight. And you're still allowed to use the Eye of Timaeus there. So going off that, the Dark Paladin just says it must be special or cannot be special summoned except by fusion. And this is going to count as fusion summoning. So there's no reason that you can't, on a single card with the Eye of Timaeus, unlock the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. So I'm not sure. Maybe somebody else has already stumbled across that wording play right there. But this is a card that you can only activate once per turn. So I went with 2 of this and 3 of the Red Eyes Fusions. It just made more sense, especially since Dragoon can just drop whatever he doesn't need. And then we're going to pick and choose between the Dark Magician Knights. The Destined Rivals, really good card, and this is really going to take the place of our hand traps. And the way that this works is if you have either the Blue Eyes White Dragon or the Dark Magician on the field, you can negate the effects of all face-up monsters the opponent currently controls until the end of the turn. Now, the only problem I have with this is, unlike a strategy I use in another deck, it's not for the whole turn just blanketed. It's only for the cards that are currently on the field. So if you don't activate this correctly, your opponent can still use monster effects to loop their way out of whatever lockdown you were attempting. Now with Eternal Soul, we got 2 copies of this. And again, this is much better once we're dealing with the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. Eternal Soul says every Dark Magician in my monster zone is unaffected by my opponent's card effects. So no Raigakai, no whatever. If this face-up card leaves the field, destroy all monsters I control. I can only use the following effect once per turn, and I can activate 1 of these effects. So I can either special summon a Dark Magician from my hand or graveyard every turn, or I can add a Dark Magic Attack or Thousand Knives from my deck to my hand every turn. Now, I'm not playing Dark Magic Attack in this version of the deck, so it's all about the summoning, which is why I've only got 2 in here. Again, it's just a matter of I want to see this card when playing, but I don't need to see this card when playing. Add a Magician's Navigation. Again, I dropped this down to 2. I used to play this at 3, but I was also playing a more struggle bus version of this deck before, so what this is going to allow us to do is to special summon Dark Magician from our hand and then special summon another level 7 or lower Dark Spellcaster from the deck. And again, that could be the Apprentice Magician, that could be the Dark Illusion Magician, it could be the Magician Girl. Doesn't matter. If I control Dark Magician except the turn that this card is sent to the graveyard, I can banish this in my graveyard, target one face-up spell trap the opponent controls, and have its effects negated until the end of this turn. And again, sometimes you just need to be able to shut off like a field spell or something that's continuous and be able to continue with your plays. So that's fine. That's the main deck. Let's take a look at the extra build real quick. So Dark Magician Girl, the Dragon Knight, only in here for the quick effect. And that is, once per turn, send a card from your hand to the graveyard, target a card that's face up on the field, and destroy it. Dark Magician the Dragon Knight counts as Dark Magician on the field and in the graveyard, and your opponent cannot target spell traps you control with card effects, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, essentially making Eternal Soul immortal, while still being able to, on a quick Timaeus play or whatever, generate another spot removal with our circle. Dark Paladin's got one fun play here, and that's just, he can't be special summoned except by the fusion summon like I explained earlier, but you can discard a card to negate the activation of a spell card and destroy it, but that doesn't say once per turn, and I don't think it's been changed since this card's reprint that I have. If it has, let me know in the comment section. But that should give you a lot of negates as long as you have a lot of cards in your hand, just like Heraklinos from the Gladiator Beasts. The interesting part is this card gains 500 attack for every dragon type on the field and in the graveyards. So I think Link Dragon is sort of becoming a thing right now, and Dark Paladin will help you just get like a huge overrunning monsters the same way that we would use a Boral Sword or something. Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is here for the Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon play. And the only line of text we're worried about here is when this is special summoned, you can target one opponent's face-up attack position monster and return it to the hand. It's just a nice little extension. They think they destroyed your monster and got rid of it. And then you just replace it immediately and then just go for a bounce play. Dragoon, again, is Dragoon. Ebon High. I think I just stated what this guy did. If I didn't, whatever, let's go through it. By pitching a material, or while this card has material, activate a quick play spell card or trap from your hand during the opponent's turn by detaching one material at the card activation. And if this is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, or this exeized monster is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card effect, special summon one dark spellcaster from the hand or deck, and then destroy one card on the field. It's a weird little extension. It is better defensively, as it has 2800 defense and 2300 attack points. And you do get the extra destroy. And again, if you're going into Dark Magician off of this, that means that you can, with the Dark Magical Circle, get one spot removal and get one card destruction off this effect as well. So it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. The Illusion Magician has an Xyz Evolution effect, which we're not worried about, so we're going to skip to the once per turn. You get to detach one material from this card, special summon a spellcaster normal type from the hand or deck, and when a spellcaster normal type monster declares an attack, I can target one card my opponent controls, banishing it, and I'm only allowed to use that effect once per turn, but it allows me to special summon my Dark Magician again for a spot removal and another one on attack. Draco Sack here is just going to be used to spawn us some tokens. That's the whole Great Fly play, and that's what's really going to help try to spawn in our Link engine. I don't want to play too many of the Links outside of Vert Anaconda. The other effect here is that while I control a token, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and once per turn I contribute one Mecha Phantom Beast monster, and the tokens are included in that. Target a card on the field, destroy the card, and this card cannot attack during the turn that I activate that effect, which is fine. Big Eye, again, He just brain controls an opponent's monster forever, and the turn he does that, he can't attack. Odd Eyes Absolute. When any player's monster declares an attack, I may detach material from it, negate the attack, and then special summon one Odd Eyes monster from my hand or graveyard. That's not a thing for me. I can still negate the attacks. I just can't do the special summoning. If this is Xyz summoned, is sent to the graveyard, I can special summon one Odd Eyes monster from the extra deck except same name. Each effect is a hard once per turn. And so again, I could let him get destroyed by battle. I could run him into something if there was a monster that was 2800, like the good old days with Dark Armed Dragon and Colossal Fighter. Or I could actually link him off and still get the additional play. So it's all good. Red Eyes Flare Metal, kind of cool. This guy's got a bunch of effects that are actually live in this deck because there is a Red Eyes. So first and foremost, cannot be destroyed by card effects while it has material. While this card has material, every time the opponent activates a card or an effect, I inflict 500 points of damage to them on resolution. Once per turn during either player's turn, I can detach material from this and target a Red Eyes normal monster in the graveyard and special summon it. And Red Eyes Black Dragon is in here. So that is live too, and that will also help with link plays should you find yourself in the grind game. Now, the Soldier of Chaos is the Soldier of Chaos. It's got 3 great effects, and again, because we're using level 7 and higher monsters in this deck, he also gets the following. So 3 monsters, different names. If Link summoned using a 7 or higher as material, the opponent cannot target it with card effects, cannot be destroyed by opponent card effects, and when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, I can activate one of these effects. So I can either give it an additional 1500 points of attack power permanently, let it make a second attack during the battle phase of my next turn, or banish a card on the field. So fantastic. Great Fly's just in here to suck up the 2 tokens off the Mecha Phantom Beast for a Link build. Nightmare Unicorn is usually the route to go after that, because this will allow me to discard a card, target a card on the field, and seal it back in the opponent's deck. And Verde Anaconda is a very simple play that I use mostly with the Summoner Monk. Just need 2 effect monsters. It's quick. I could just do that, chocolate, get to draw cards, see what I get, and then go ahead and use the Red Eyes Fusion as its effect. And since I'm using the spell's effect, I don't have to deal with the whole I'm not allowed to special summon during the turn I use Red Eyes Fusion. So, very good. This deck is fun. I did try to build it midway between casual and competitive. I'm sure I'm going to take a little heat for not having a couple of cards. And honestly, if you didn't see it in here, it's probably because I just didn't own it. I know there's one Spellcaster card that was close to $100 on arrival. And it came out of a Duelist pack, and I don't normally buy Duelist packs. So I was woefully unaware of the cards even being out, and I was just building with what I had today. So if you guys enjoyed this, go tell a friend. Maybe we can get some more exposure for the channel, see if we can grow the community just a little bit more. Comment down below. If there's a deck you'd like to see, maybe we'll go ahead and build that as the next viewer submission. Depends on what cards I have. I do not have the cards out of the newest set right now currently. And I know that at the end of the week, we are going to be getting the structure deck. My locals is kind enough, we can't go there and actually play right now, but the owner is awesome enough that he does take some prepays on certain items. So I did prepay for my 6 copies of the structure deck, and I'll be able to pick those up, I think it was Friday. It's always a Friday. So I'll be able to work on that this weekend. We'll do like an opening reaction thing, then we'll take 3 copies of the structure deck and we'll build a budget build, and then we'll do something where I just grab all my cards and see what works. So yeah, I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to get you guys some speed duel stuff. I know that I missed one at the beginning of the week. I always like to start the week with one right now. And I just really wanted to put the effort into this deck for you guys. So, peace later.